What's up, weirdos? Welcome back to another episode of Universe of Weirdos. I am your host, Jay Kraft, the head of household of this feedback family that we have. We are back with another FAQ, feedback and questions. Fuck you! This is where I read all of your emails, your DMs, some of you send me text messages because I know you personally, and I like to read them out here, answer your questions, read some of your feedback, and I gotta be real, going forward with these feedback and questions episodes, I'm gonna have to dial it back a little bit. My show has grown tremendously over the last month alone. So I've been getting a lot more of these. I'm going to have to ignore some of these, a lot of mundane stuff. Some people just wanting to quote lines that I've said to me, which that's a little bit weird to me. Ha ha, you said this. Yeah, I did. But if you want to get in on a future FAQ episode, you want to submit some of your feedback and or questions, feel free to send me an email. That's where most of these come from. UniverseOfWeirdos@gmail.com. I am also over on Instagram with DMs open, Universe of Weirdos. And if you pay for X, then you can message me on there. Couple of you do that, which I think is kind of weird. Don't pay for Twitter. What are you doing? But I am jcraft247 over there. And those are the different ways that you can get a hold of me. I guess you can comment on YouTube and stuff like that, but I don't really pay much attention to the stuff that goes over to YouTube because it's just kind of an automatic. My audio goes over there with a logo attached to it, and it only counts as one download. So, if you listen to my podcast on YouTube, just subscribe on one of your music apps. It'll work out a lot better. But like I've said, this is feedback and questions. Fuck you! And we're going to start off with a response to my 1950s commercial episode that I did. Commercials of the 1950s or whatever I decided to title it. It was something along those lines. But Denise sent me this. I'm a pharmacist. Congratulations, I am a podcaster. Calmetric weight loss tablets from the 50s did not have cocaine in them, but aside from that, you were absolutely correct. It was a combination of amphetamine, dextroamphetamine, and methamphetamine, so there's just straight up meth in it. The diet pills of the 50s were almost exclusively made from stimulants like that. So just a shitload of meth, different kinds of amphetamine, that is crazy, man. I don't really, I really don't understand, how you didn't catch on sooner that, these are bad for you. But people just really, I mean, that was a big epidemic, right? With, housewives of, the 50s and 60s, as they would get hooked on these, diet tablets, and they didn't kind of understand why they were losing their mind and never really made the correlation of, oh, it's because I've been taking these weight loss pills, and ever since then, I have been a twitchy fucking weirdo. So yeah, that's kind of hilarious. Now, Dave sent me this one at UniverseOfWeirdos@gmail.com, and this one's pretty heavy, man. I don't know, try to make something light of this. I'm 6 months sober and going strong, booze and opiates. I use psychedelics for the first 3 months daily, and then dial back to mushrooms once a week to help me quit. I know they say you are always an addict and always an alcoholic, but I can honestly say that I don't ever want to drink again now that I distance myself from it. Do you buy into the AA stance that you are always an alcoholic, or do you believe that people can overcome addiction completely? Well, I mean, to say overcome addiction completely, but then you say that you take mushrooms once a week, your argument's going to start to fall apart under scrutiny. But I mean, I don't think that AA is the absolute answer for, I don't think that's what AA stands for, is the absolute answer for sobriety, because it's not. It's just one way that people use to get sober. So do I believe that you're always an alcoholic or always an addict? I think you always have it in you to be an alcoholic or an addict, but I think everybody does. I think it's just a matter of willpower and and focusing on yourself. And if AA works for you, then that's great. But I'm not going to talk shit about them. If it helps you quit, then it helps you quit. So whatever. But yeah, to go like, hey, you can overcome addiction completely. I use psychedelics daily to help myself get over addiction. That's, I mean, it's still, you're trading addictions, which I mean, it's maybe a healthier one, but I don't know. I mean, I know people that quit hard drugs and now they like smoke a fuckload of weed. So it's like, I mean, they're still just substituting. They're not drinking anymore, but they are smoking themselves to sleep every night. So I don't know, man, but congratulations on your 6 months sober. Keep going. Stay focused, buddy. Dan sent me this. Have you ever made an AI song for your intro that you thought was actually a banger? No, I kind of haven't. I mean, like this one right here, the one that I introed, like opened up with, right? Like just, it's kind of generic, right? Like these generic synth, like not particularly unique bass line or drums or anything like there's nothing about this that I would play in my car and be like, yeah, we're fucking grooving, man. I mean, it's cool, it's high energy, it's goofy and shit, but no, I don't think that I've ever made a banger on AI music. Nothing that I've ever been like, I could listen to this in my car. There are some that have surprised me, but they're more on the like, almost like movie score sounding side where it's like, wow, this does sound ominous and creepy, but it's also probably not hard for a human to create something that's ominous and creepy if you put in a little bit of effort. So no, I don't think I've ever made an AI song that's a banger. I don't think anybody ever has. Jeez, I don't think anybody ever would. No, definitely pay attention to real musicians because music is fantastic. AI music is generic and a throwaway novelty. So no, go listen to an actual band. Sammy wants to know, why don't you do stand-up anymore? You could get an hour of material. I added of material. I'm editorializing. You could get an hour just from your podcast stuff. I wouldn't be mad if your show was exclusively reacting to things from the 50s and 60s, by the way. Those are my favorite episodes. And also, did the THC coffee perk you up, or does it hit like any other edible and put you to sleep? So those are some good questions. Why don't I do stand-up anymore? Because it's like, it's too much of a hassle for me, I feel like. Like, I got to a point in stand-up where I was traveling a lot, and I didn't necessarily like the traveling. I like being at home of the evenings. I like sleeping in my own bed. I don't like sleeping in hotel rooms. I don't sleep in hotel rooms. So I didn't really like the travel. And then doing like local comedy would still be something that I wouldn't mind doing, but it just doesn't seem worth it because you still have to devote like hours of your time and hours of your evening to go to this club, to do all of this stuff, engage in all of this goofy politics that you have to engage in, just to do like maybe 10 minutes of material in front of like a half a dozen people. When if I need to express myself comedically, I can just hit record on my laptop here and I can talk for a half an hour to an audience that's way bigger than would fit into any of these comedy clubs. So, I mean, that's basically why I don't really do open mic stand up or anything anymore, because like if I were wanting to do stand up, I would want to take it seriously enough to like make a living off of it. And in order to do that, you have to travel a lot. So I stick to writing jokes instead of performing them in front of audiences. So did the THC coffee perk you up, or does it hit like any other edible and put you to sleep? I feel like it was both. Like, I feel like you got that coffee, like caffeine front end where you're like, yeah, I'm fucking wide awake and alert. And then as soon as you get that caffeine crash that you can get when the caffeine wears off, you crash hard. So I think that's what the THC does to THC coffee. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure that I'm going to be doing much more THC coffee in the future because it is a weird speedball effect. Speaking of music from earlier, Jeff sent me this. Have you ever seen any bands multiple times live? I have 33 Fish shows in my memory bank and loved every single one of them. I have seen a few bands live multiple times. I live pretty close to like an amphitheater where a lot of bands come every summer, and recently it's just been country acts, so it sucks. Like, you can't really go see anybody that's all that good. Or, I mean, people that appeal to me anyways. I don't know if they're fucking good in their genre of country music horse shit, but they might be. But no, there have been bands that they would stop here every summer, and I started to see them all the time. I've seen Rush live like 5 or 6 times. Jane's Addiction, weirdly enough, I've seen probably more times than I've seen any other band because I've always like you go to like a Lollapalooza or a Riot Fest or any of those like multiple bands, Jane's Addiction seems to always be part of it. So I've seen Jane's Addiction live like 6 times or so. Maybe, yeah, I'd say probably about 6 times. The band Styx, I used to see them every summer when they would come to the Deer Creek Amphitheater here in Indiana. I used to see them every summer because they always had like ridiculously cheap tickets and they were a great live show. Like I understand people think of Styx as like this generic ass like classic rock band, and in a lot of aspects they are, but there's just something about that classic rock, like it provides for a good concert, right? That just straight up guitar type of fucking renegade, renegade who had it made. Like it's a stupid, goofy song, but you hear it and you're like, dude, this is fucking great live, dude. You see him hit the guitar so, and they're back to back making weird eye contact with one another. Like is your generic concert experience. That's a lot of fun. I really like seeing Styx live. I'd see them again. I think they're still touring. I'd see them again. I've seen Coheed and Cambria a few times. That's the one band that I've seeked out multiple times live and gone to different ones of their concerts because they do that thing where it's like, hey, we're doing a concert tonight and the concert's going to be, we're performing every song from our second album. And then their next tour is like, we're performing every song from our new album. So it was always kind of cool, kind of weird novelty thing to see Coheed live all the time because they just do different music every time. So they had some like reinvestment power, I guess. Like, yeah, I'll go to your concert multiple times. Why not? Chris has sent me this, an email, universeofweirdos@gmail.com. I discovered your podcast randomly when I was looking for Opie bashing on YouTube. I subscribed on Podbean since you are an audio-only podcast. I appreciate that. And also, Podbean's my podcast provider, so they're my podcast host. They're going to like that. Regarding your last FAQ, you said you wanted to know why so many new subscribers are listening to you. I think that I wanted to know why people from Vietnam and shit like that were subscribing, because I got a lot of like foreign listeners. I'm not so weird to wonder why just random people will listen to me, but I just wanted to know why I appealed to people from Vietnam or like Hong Kong and stuff. Like these guys seem to listen to my shows a lot, and I don't know. I thought that maybe there would be some sort of language barrier thing that would prevent them from understanding my sarcastic nonsense or my over-the-top wackiness. So I appreciate that you're sending me this, but you weren't the person that I was asking, why are you listening? I think it's because your show is refreshing. Most podcasts that I give the chance to turn out to be just people talking about stuff in a boring conversation. Yeah, there's a lot of those out there. You actually play to an audience, and your show feels like a show, not just a guy talking about the video games he likes. Oh, man, you don't know how relatable that is. More Opie reviews, please. Yeah. Also, he sent me a separate one yesterday that said, Donkey Lips is MAGA and a hypocrite. He trashes people, spouts conspiracy theories, and even calls out women for looking trans. So fuck that guy. He's not worth helping or worth your sympathy. Did you see his video response to your episode? I did see that. Now, I will say he released a goofy anxiety files video. This is Michael Bauer, Hey Bauer on YouTube. It was in response to my Donkey Lips view on comedy episode review that I just did. And then, 2 days later, he released a video after I released my podcast, basically almost addressing the points that I made in the video. He didn't call me out specifically, so I can't go, he was definitely talking about me. But he also used the phrase digital panhandling a few times that I used in my episode. and was like, and some people try to give me advice and it seems like good advice, and then just went back into making excuses for himself. So I do think that you're right. I think that this dude's beyond help. I don't think that he actually wants help. I think he wants sympathy, and I think he wants money, and I think he wants people to put in the effort into life for him. But yeah, no, I understand. And yes, I did see that video. I'm not going to do another reaction video to it, but I do think, I think that you're right. I do think that he was talking about me. I think that he was talking about my episode that I did, because he used the phrases like digital panhandling that I used, some other things that made me think that he was actually talking to people about the thing and they maybe agreed with me a little bit. So there were just things in there and references in there. Unfortunately, it's a members only video, so I can't really direct too many people to Hey Bauer on YouTube, but the video is called like "Thank You for Being a Friend But," and it's definitely in response to my episode about him, because just the timing and the phrasing and some of the things that he says in there just leads me to believe it's a little bit too convenient to not be a reaction to what I just said to you. But yeah, I mean, most podcasts being like boring and conversational. Yeah, I understand that. I've been trying to branch out and listen to new podcasts and kind of like maybe more local guys too. And there's just something about this, like, and maybe it does appeal to a certain audience, but like these 2 hour long conversations about, yeah, like you said, the video games that you play, or like, there was one that I listened to that was at PopCon. That was I think it was a board game podcast. And I started to listen to it, but knowing that this isn't for me. Like, this isn't for me. I'm not a board game guy, so I'm probably not going to really enjoy this. But then when I see that it's 2 hours long and it is just people going like, so what game are you playing? It makes me tune out really quick. It probably does appeal to some people, but for me, yeah, you're right. I like it to feel like a show. I like it to feel like somebody's talking to me, the audience, and not that I'm just like eavesdropping on a conversation between buddies. So yeah, it does. And it does suck when like someone in the same industry as you like sucks at it. Cause then they'll try to be buddies with you and like be, sidle up to you and shit. And you're just like, hey, yeah, cool, man. So I'll see you later. All right. It would happen in comedy all the time. Like at stand-up shows, like these open micers that bomb would try to like hang out with the comics that did really well. And for whatever reason, it just never worked out. It was like, dude, we don't want to be hanging around unfunny people. We don't want to dilute the comedy pool over here. So hacks, stay away. So I don't know. But yeah, it does suck, doesn't it? When you're just like, yeah, man, maybe we can work something out. And it's like, but you're not good at it. There was a comic at a place that I performed at here in Indianapolis that the very first time I was there, I saw the dude at the bar and he was like, hey, I think I've seen you perform at wherever before. And he was like, this is your first time here? And then started giving me all this advice. You need to do this. You need to do this. Pay attention to this. Sometimes the audience responds well to this kind of shit. And then he ended up going on before me at that show and just bombed and ate his balls. I'm pretty sure he actually said, my wife's cleavage is so big, and then waited for the audience to go, how big is it? And then he was like, it's so big, we're actually performing in it right now. And I just sat there going, this fucking dude gave me advice. This dude gave me unsolicited advice. Ugh. And I kind of listened to him a little bit like, this guy might know what he's talking about. He doesn't. All right, so CJ, the old Chick-fil-A blowjob guy, I'll stop referring to you as that after this. You and Sean have great chemistry. I like the episode you did together. I know all the white people shit too. I've been a Dragon Ball nerd forever and still went out with girls. Yeah, I mean, you got blown by them in a Chick-fil-A parking lot. That shit had me rolling when you were like, why don't I get laid instead of playing video games? Yeah, bro, I do that too. Not all nerds are virgins. You need to get the Black Power Ranger on your show. And by the way, my new flex at parties is going to be, I was on Global Guts. Yeah, in the Donkey Lips episode, I said I can't say that I was on Salute Your Shorts, but I can say that I was on Global Guts. I would be lying, but it would be really hard for somebody to find out that I'm lying. It would take a lot of research, and it probably wouldn't even be worth it to them. And you could just, yeah, season 4, episode 16. You just drop a couple random numbers, make yourself sound more believable. There you go. That'll help you take some chicks back to your delivery vehicle, I guess, CJ. And he also sent me a separate one that just said, bro, White Castle employee pants. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. People just sending me feedback that's quoting things that I'm saying. But yes, in that Donkey Lips episode, I also said you have to get some thick skin, especially if you're going to be in comedy, because I used to go to the comedy club every night going, how can you make fun of the things that I'm wearing right now? Because if these guys call my khakis White Castle employee pants one more time, I'm going to go fucking crazy. But yeah, they would do stuff like that. Like, hey, nice. What are you fucking just got off your shift at Lowe's? What's up with the pants? And I remember my retort being, because I'm pretty sure, I think it might have even been Miss Pat that said that I had White Castle employee pants when I wore khakis. And I just remember going, you only think that khakis are White Castle employee pants because that's the only reference that you have for khakis, you fucking White Castle employee. So yeah, you got to learn how to hit back. You got to learn. And then guess what? The person that said that to me, and when I said that back, we both just laughed. That's what happens. Nobody goes, he said that I was a White Castle employee. I'm not going to talk to him anymore. No, funny people are funny and they know how to take jokes. So Donkey Lips, you suck. Steph. Now this, Steph, who sent me this on Instagram, I don't know if this was an insult or if you were trying to just give me something to riff on and joke about, but I got this suspiciously after my Sean Jones Jr. discussing the Nerd Life podcast, so I have a feeling you're taking a shot at me here, Steph. Why do so many guys over 30 like to do these remember this, remember that nostalgia podcasts? We get it. The 90s were cool. Okay. Yeah, it's funny. It's a funny criticism, but you are right. Us old dudes like to talk about when we weren't old. That's just how it always happens. Nostalgia has always ruled, Steph. When I was a kid, it was people talking about the 70s like they were fucking awesome. All of our music was the best. All of our drugs were the best. We partied. We didn't have to wear condoms because your stupid generation somehow discovered AIDS. Like, there was all kinds of stuff that people would talk about the 70s that were so much cool. I feel like the way that it normally works, and I mean, it doesn't seem to be, because 90s nostalgia seems to be big, and that was 30 years ago. But like, what I think happens is it is about a 30-year cycle, right? But you always think that the decade before your decade was shit. So like if you grew up in the 90s, you were like, dude, the 80s blew ass. The 70s were what was cool. So I don't know how it works, but nostalgia has always been a thing. Like I said, when I was a kid, it was the 70s. Started to be the 80s when I got a little bit later into my teenage years. People wanting to talk about Atari like it was the greatest thing when really it fucking blew. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why old guys like to do remember this, remember that nostalgia podcasts. It's probably because we like to remember the stuff. The world kind of starts sucking a little bit when you get older because everybody wants to talk to you about politics and your bills and this much is how much this thing costs. And, you know, you want to go, remember when things were simpler and we just watched fucking TV? Remember that cartoon that we used to watch when we didn't have fucking bills to pay and life was really good because somebody else was taking care of our responsibilities? We can't all be Donkey Lips, man. Some of us have to grow up at some point in life and start fending for ourselves and paying attention to our adult responsibilities. And finally, I want to leave with this one because it's hilarious. I don't know why I found this so funny, but Tyler sent me this one. My dad said he went to a casino on 9/11. We always joke about it, but that is kind of messed up, right? I don't know. I mean, it's hilarious to go, you remember where you were on 9/11? Yeah, I was playing blackjack, you know? So like there was definitely like, that's hilarious. But at the same time, like when I was thinking about it, it was like, well, I mean, what else are you going to do? You know, like, what are you going to grab a gun and try to get to the Middle East and fight terrorists? Like, sit at home and cry and reel yourself in fear thinking that like, oh no, the terrorists are coming to get me? Like, I mean, at a certain point, you have to continue living your life, right? And if your dad was planning on going to a casino on that random September weekday, then yeah, I mean, he needs to go fucking hit the roulette wheel a little bit, play some poker, and fucking. I want to know what the crowd was. Like, what was it like? What was the mood like in the casino that night? Were people very somber? I don't know. That's hilarious though. My dad spent 9/11 in a casino. It's amazing. You probably have more listeners to your podcast than Heaven's Gate had members. Maybe you should start your own cult. You know, I kind of talked about this a little bit on my PopCon live show where I could start my own cult, but I would be really bad at it because I would just eventually be the give me your money guy. Because cults kind of break down in a few ways. It's either let's kill a bunch of people, basically they're going to be terrorists, like, you know, like certain things like Rajneesh Puram and the dudes who gassed the fucking subway cult. Or there's let me fuck all of your wives. I'm going to fuck everybody's wives guy. Or give me all of your money guy, which is, you know, Scientology, all that good stuff. And I would just be the give me your money guy. That's what my cult would end up being. It would just basically be, hey, you want to go to heaven? All right, fucking $5,500. And then you're in there, buddy. Yeah, look at you. You're blessed now. So that's basically the kind of cult leader I would be. So I wouldn't suggest ever joining my cult if I were to start my own actual cult, which, you know, hey, still might be a possibility because like I said, I'm looking, you know, Heaven's Gate doesn't seem like it's for me, but maybe this Final Fantasy cult that I've started to look into might be a little bit better. Who knows? But I will be looking for a good cult, one that that's the problem too, is they all start out making sense, right? Like we're going to build a community of like-minded people. We're going to support each other and build each other up. And we're just going to live in peace in our own little community. We're going to get like a whole city block and it's just all going to be us. No one's going to bother each other. We're going to live in harmony. Now give me all of your money and let me fuck your wives is what it always ends up being. So it's just like, just cults just don't seem worth it. But that is going to be it for me, ladies and germs. How's it feel to be called germs, fellas? Huh? That is going to be all. If you want to get in on one of these FAQ episodes, feel free to send me that email, universeofweirdos@gmail.com. Like I said, I'm also on Instagram over there, Universe of Weirdos on Instagram. I pretty much exclusively post AI-generated photos to basically say I posted a new episode and to let people know that it's an active account. I'm not trying to be an AI artist or some sort of person that's going, look at my cool AI stuff. It's just, again, a goofy novelty that I'm using to show people this is an active profile, and I'm a 40-year-old dude who has nothing to take pictures of and share with my podcast audience. I take pictures of my son. I take pictures of me and my wife. Well, that's not going to work on an Instagram for this podcast. I send those to my mother. So that's going to be it for me, guys. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, rate, and review. And I love you all, and I will see you for another FAQ in just a few weeks. Get all those questions in. Stop quoting me. I don't need to know I laughed at this. Thank you, I appreciate it, but that is my goal with a comedy podcast, is to make you laugh, so I don't necessarily need to know what it was that you laughed at. But I do appreciate all of your feedback. I appreciate that I have an audience that I can make laugh, and I love you all. Blasting off until next time. So